Welcome to the Beatles Talk Show. Today is March 15th. Here's some great Beatle trivial facts throughout their career that happened on this specific date.
And what happened?
In 1961 on this date, Stuart Sutcliffe, bass player for the Beatles, returned to Hamburg, Germany to pursue his romance with Astrid Kirchner. And he wanted to focus on his art, so he signed up for classes at the State College of Art.
Now, is this when he quit the Beatles? Was this the same time?
Yeah, I would say so. So, I'm not sure if he did any more gigs after this date exactly, but it kind of marked the end, and of course Paul would then decide, well, we need a bass player.
So Paul took over the bass. Do you know, I acquired a bass guitar, original Hofner Beatle bass, recently, and I think it is, well, to me, it looks exactly like the bass that Paul was playing around that time. That bass went missing, by the way. I just might have it in my possession. Not that I stole it, but I found it possibly after all these years. So we'll try to get a hold of Paul on that one for sure, and verify it.
On this date in 1962, the Beatles were playing a lunchtime show at the Cavern Club. And the night show was billed as the Beatles' farewell party because they were getting ready to leave to perform in Hamburg for a long stint of months at a time.
Cool. I wonder if that's when, around the time they recorded that show, the Beatles Live.
No, that would happen way later.
Around Christmas, yeah. Okay.
On this date in 1963, the Beatles were still on tour with the American pop stars Chris Montez and Tommy Roe, and after not singing 3 nights in a row, John was finally back recovering from his cold, and now the Beatles were able to do their proper vocal arrangements on this tour.
It went something like this. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. That's how the song went, so just so you know.
All right. On this date in 1967, the Beatles were in the recording studio, but it was the first session of George recording a new song called Untitled. And George is the only person to perform on the song in the band. They hired extra East Indian performers to work on a song that would turn out to be Within You, Without You.
Within You, Without You. That's a good tune. Yeah, very Eastern influenced.
On this date in 1968, the Beatles released in the UK their new single, Lady Madonna, and it would hit #1 in the UK, but not do quite as well in America.
Lady Madonna, children at your feet, wonders how you managed to make ends meet. Good song by Paul. I never used to like that song, but now I really appreciate it. The Inner Light is kind of a weird tune, isn't it? That's a strange
it's
little
interesting,
song.
another George song, yeah. And that song went all the way to #96 in the States, one of my favorite George songs.
Yeah. Something happened here in 1968 with the Beach Boys, too. What's going on there?
Well, while they were in Rishikesh, the Beatles serenaded Beach Boy member Mike Love with their own song called Happy Birthday, Michael Love.
Okay, cool.
So this was all at the time when they're working with the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Would that become the song Birthday or not?
I don't think so, but we'll have to check in on that. Ringo Starr was starting to miss his home cooking, and John Lennon, now that he's cleared his mind, was kind of deciding, why am I here? So they're starting to lose interest during their India trip. On this date in 1971, times were changing in the early 70s, and CBC Television announced that they were canceling the Ed Sullivan Show.
Oh, that's sad, yeah. It was so popular in the 50s and 60s, wasn't it? That was like the show everybody watched on Sunday night. I even remember as a little kid, we had 1 or 2 channels on the old big box set TV, and 8 o'clock comes around our time here in North America, and you turn on the Ed Sullivan Show, and that was the big show of the day. And now here in 1971, they decide to cancel the show because, I guess, like you said, things were changing. Late night had become Mary Tyler Moore, Laugh-In. God, what else was going on? MASH had probably just started at that time. So, for the times they are a-changing.
On this date in 1984, a new John Lennon single was released in the US, I'm Stepping Out. And Yoko was on a world tour in 1986, and on this date she performed a show in Hungary for 25,000 people.
Wow. She, being a Yoko Ono fan, you were telling me one time that actually some of her most recent songs have become bigger than a lot of the solo Beatles songs. Is that right?
That's right. She actually has a market with the dance club scene, and so she's had like 5 #1 singles.
Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought? I mean,
And
wow.
Paul and Ringo don't quite fit any demographic now for promoting new songs, so they just don't have a proper market for what they're putting out.
Neither do we. So there you go.
On this date in 1999, Paul McCartney was inducted into the Rock and
Yes,
Roll Hall
I
of
remember
Fame
that.
as a solo artist, and of course he was already in the Beatles, so that should make him the first person to be inducted twice.
Yeah, I remember watching that. It's, he's just such a gentleman. Like he just like it's no big deal for him. You know, it just takes it with a grain of salt. It's like, yeah, whatever. You know, I respect that so much. You know.
And on this date in the year 2000, Sir Paul McCartney confirms that he and Heather Mills have become an item, and the couple met while working on a charity project.
Yeah, well, I remember that. In a way, I was happy for Paul because after Linda, I mean, that was such a horrible thing for him. You know, he was so sad there for a while.
So my dear friends, come back when you can.